Hey there. Before we start the design process for a responsive website, let's explore what responsive design is. We'll also discuss why websites should be responsive and why it's good for UX designers to have responsive website designs in their portfolio. You may remember from earlier in the program that responsive web design allows a website to change automatically depending on the size of the device. Responsive websites will appear smaller to fit smaller screens like mobile phones, and will appear larger to fit larger screens like desktop computers. Responsive web design often involves more than changing the size of a website. When planning a website design, UX designers need to consider how the elements on each page will respond to different screen sizes. A smaller screen means less space. A responsive website might change where elements appear. For example, a desktop version of a website might list its popular pages along the top of the screen. A mobile version of the site won't have as much space at the top, so these popular pages may be grouped inside a hamburger menu instead. Designing multiple versions of the same website can take more time, but it ensures people are able to use the website on any device. In 2019, a Pew Research Center study found that 74% of adults in the US owned a desktop or laptop computer, and 81% owned a smartphone. With this data, you can assume your website's users are likely to access it from many device types. Designing your website for multiple device types is a great way to make sure anyone who wants to use your website can. Users need to be able to interact with website content in similar ways, regardless of a device's viewing size. Let's use a bank website as an example. It's important for me as a user to be able to see how much money is in my checking account, even if I'm not near a computer and can only use my mobile phone. Changing my device and still being able to access my bank info makes me feel like my needs are being met as a user. Highlighting your understanding of responsive web design is a fantastic way to make your portfolio attractive to potential employers. Designing responsive websites is a common and useful task for UX designers, and here's why. A study from 2019 found that there were over 185 million active websites on the internet, and more websites are created every second. That's a huge number. With so many active websites, the rate at which more websites are being created, and the number of people with mobile phones, there's a big market for professionals who can design websites that are easy to use on any device. In other words, lots of businesses need responsive websites. In a survey of over 900 UX designers, 90% reported that they had recently worked on a website or web-based application, and 76% had recently worked on a mobile app. This statistic tells us that while designing mobile apps is important work for UX designers, employers will likely ask you to design web-based projects as well. By having experience in responsive web design in your portfolio, employers know you can manage the job. I'll meet you in the next video.